70 million acres of wide open possibilities. Nevada is untouched. A place where the desert comes to life, the ground holds the history, and nature perseveres.
This is my kind of landscape. I'm telling you, this is like a playground for me. You think we could go take a closer look?
Absolutely.
I experienced the dramatic features of Cathedral Gorge State Park.
But it is not stuff. It is artifacts.
I find a time capsule in McGill, Nevada.
You know, everything in here is original. I feel like I'm in somebody's home and they've gone out to lunch.
I take a ride through the early days of the Carson Valley.
Yeah, you can't get much more four-wheel drive than this.
And at the Red Rock Canyon area, I enjoy a picture-perfect day.
With one of the most spectacular views.
I'm John Burke. Join me as I explore the 7th largest state in the nation, here on Outdoor Nevada.
You know, I've traveled thousands and thousands and thousands of miles around this state, but there's always been one place that has eluded me until today. Cathedral Gorge. Here it is, and it does not disappoint. Come on, we're gonna go find Dawn and Doan. She's gonna give us a closer look.
A few miles north of Panaca stands Cathedral Gorge. You can see it from the distance, but you only understand it when you experience it.
Dawn!
Hey, John. Nice to see you.
Nice seeing you. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Outstanding. Are you kidding? I'm here.
Dawn has worked as a park interpreter for the past 8 years. She gives adventurers like myself a captivating experience of Nevada's state parks.
Where are we in the state exactly?
Well, we're about 20 miles to the west of the Utah border and just about 2.5, 3 hours north of Las Vegas.
How big is the park?
Well, we're now at about 2,000 acres. We just had a land transfer from the Bureau of Land Management.
This is my kind of landscape. I'm telling you, this is like a playground for me. You think we could go take a closer look?
Absolutely.
Once home to Fremont, Anasazi, and Southern Paiute Indians, Cathedral Gorge was placed under preservation by Governor James Scrugham in 1924.
This is really otherworldly being out here.
Yes, absolutely it is.
Now, what is this structure, if you will, right here, because it's by itself?
Well, this would be our iconic Cathedral Rock.
This is it.
This is it. This is the one. So back in the day when it was settled here, people didn't use this area very much. And then later in the 1800s, there was a lady who rode her horse through here all the time, and she just thought it was beautiful. She loved it out here, and she really is the one who kind of brought that idea of it being a place to set aside to the forefront. And she's the one who started calling it Cathedral Gulch. And it's because of these cathedral-looking rocks.
Yeah.
She thought they looked like the cathedrals that she had seen in Europe.
And you know, when you look at them, you totally can see that. You can see like a city of some kind. Now, today, what does Cathedral Gorge offer somebody that comes to visit?
Well, we get about 50,000 visitors a year, and when they come, they can do all kinds of things. I mean, whether you're a kid or just a kid at heart,
Guilty.
You've got tons of things to do, right? So you can spend as much time as you want climbing and looking through all the slot canyons and climbing through little tunnels.
In the 1920s, Shakespearean performers used Cathedral Gorge as a dramatic backdrop for open-air performances.
So as I go through the park, I see these man-made structures occasionally. What's the story of that?
Well, this one right here is a water tower, and it doesn't look like it holds water, does it?
No, not too well.
It's kind of got some holes in it and things. Back when the park was being built in 1934, we became one of the original state parks in the state in 1935. They brought the Civilian Conservation Corps here to actually build these structures for the people who would come and enjoy the park. In this water tower, there would have been a pump on the bottom, and on the top is where the tank would have been to hold the water.
Wow.
It was gravity fed out to what was then the campground.
The Civilian Conservation Corps built several campgrounds and picnic areas for the new visitors coming to the park every year. Many of these original spots are still in use today.
Well, Dawn, after a short little hike, we're here in the slots. Good time to stop and talk about geology. How did all this happen?
Well, if you would have been here 15,000 years ago, you would have been a fish. So we would have been under a lake at that time, and as the lake drained away, all of this was open to erosion. This is actually mostly volcanic ash that was deposited here from other areas. And you can see the layers of limestone, that harder layer. The little sea creatures that lived in the lake would have died and formed that layer of limestone. That layer forms a little cap because it's harder than the siltstone. And the wind and the water erode all the way around that cap, and that's how you get the cathedral-like structures that you see today.
Amazing. Is it still active today in terms of erosion?
Absolutely. Wind and water work on it every single day, and ice. So in the wintertime when we get snow and there's water in these, what really works on it is that freeze-thaw process throughout the day that creates all of these different gaps that allows the water to run into. And then it forms these canyons, and that's how they get cut deeper and deeper back into the hillside.
Over the course of 1,000,000 years, sediments fell into what used to be a lake bed. As climate changed, the lake bed gradually drained, and the fallen sediments became nature's pile of clay.
I know you have one more thing to show me.
Absolutely. Now's the time to get dirty.
Right on.
Let's go.
It all comes down to a tight fit as Dawn shows me one of her secret spots here at Cathedral Gorge.
Okay, Dawn. Super cool. Tight squeeze, though,
Little bit, little tight.
but so much fun.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
This whole park is it's a place I've always wanted to come to, and you helped me get it off my bucket list. It's just an amazing place.
Yay, well, we hope you come back. That's what we're here for. We're the best kept secret in Nevada, but we want people to know we're here, and we want you to know you can have fun here.
Oh, can you ever have fun? Dawn, thank you so much. I had a blast, and you can bet you're going to see me again.
Awesome, I hope so.
Cathedral Gorge's ever-changing nature and its unexpected curves and shapes make this state park a world of discovery and exploration. Its spiral columns, gritty walls, and crawling spaces fascinate visitors at every turn.
If you've ever made a sandcastle and you wondered what it would be like to walk through it if it was life-size, that's Cathedral Gorge. Usually, after an adventure, I hit the road and get going. Not today. I'm going back in. Today, I'm in McGill, Nevada, population 1,148. Now, I know it's called Outdoor Nevada, but every now and then, I find something inside that's so good I can't help myself. I just have to show you. This is the McGill Drugstore. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. Let's go inside and talk to Dan Braddock. He's the guy who takes care of the place.
Located in the heart of White Pine County, McGill's history is linked to the rise and fall of its copper mines and smelting industry. The town was once home to over 3,000 residents, all of whom depended on the drugstore to supply their routine sundries.
Good morning.
Dan.
Welcome to the past.
It's good to be in the past. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing real good. I'm glad to see you come back and visit me.
Well, you got a heck of a place here.
Well, I really like it. It has a lot of memories to it.
It was built around 1907?
Yes, sir. It was built because they built the town around the copper industry. And the copper industry was going to put out on the flat, and William McGill, who owned the land, would come out here. I have the water rights.
Dan Braddock takes care of the drugstore, now a public museum. A man of 1,000,000 local stories, he's vowed to preserve the authentic feel of the store and everything in it.
When you took over as curator and watchdog of this place, how much of this did you have to rearrange and set up like a museum?
Nothing. It was left just like Elsa left it when she passed away in '95.
Tell me about the soda fountain.
This soda fountain, I was told, was put in here in 1930s. It is an operational one, but at the present time, I don't have it turned on.
Now, why do they call it soda jerk? I've never understood
Well,
that.
that's a fun thing. In the old days, You'd come in here and you'd order a Coke. The man would put ice in it. He'd come over here to the Coke and he'd pump about 3 squirts, and then he would pull the lever and call it jerking it.
You're jerking the lever.
You're jerking the lever.
When most people think of a classic drugstore, they think of the soda counter. In its heyday, this counter would be center stage for the showmanship of the soda jerk, whom historian Michael Carl Witzel once coined as the pop star of the Gilded Age.
In my town, we had one of these. I'm ashamed to say that I'm that old, but I remember going up to the counter and getting a cherry Coke.
I had the choice when I took the store over to do one of 2 things. To either put a white jacket on and pretend like I was a pharmacist, or be the soda jerk, and I'd rather be the soda jerk.
Well, I know you'd rather be the soda jerk, but I have to look at that pharmacy. Can we go take a look at it?
Sure, let's go back there and see what we can find.
Artist Norman Rockwell immortalized the iconic image of the drugstore in his paintings. They show a place that was more than just a simple shop, but rather a hub for the whole community and an essential part of American culture for decades.
Dan, I am shocked by the amount of product that's in this store. It's not just a can of beans here and a belt here. You got a lot of stuff.
I have no idea how much stuff I have, but it is not stuff. It is artifacts.
Well, what do you have in front of you?
What I have that I like to show my young folks, the reason is that it turned from grape juice to wine to vinegar to yuck.
Now, why would a pharmacist have a bottle of grape juice?
Well, I think that in my day, medicines didn't taste good. They didn't try to make them flavorful. And so, if my mother came down and got me some cough syrup, they could put this and have me take it with my cough syrup.
Just a teaspoon of sugar makes that medicine go down, doesn't
That
it?
is right.
How about the tin there?
Well, in the early days, when a woman couldn't produce breast milk, they would use the sugar of milk to make a bottle feeding for the child. And so that is the predecessor of baby formula.
And you have it still in the tin.
Still in the old tin. It hasn't rusted.
Any classic pharmacy would have meticulous files for all of its patients. The McGill Drugstore has records dating all the way back to 1910. To this day, families come to look for medical history or dig up documents used to settle legal disputes.
What are all these bottles here, Dan?
Well, I was told that originally that this is where the pharmacy area was. As you can see, you have bottles where the label has just disintegrated. I like my little cobwebs. Look behind you and look at the cabinets.
You got mercury, you got all kinds of stuff. And might I add, you also have personal products, do you not?
Yes, I do. And one of the things was, in the early days, feminine hygienic products were never put on the shelf. Your male products, you had to tippy-toe up to the pharmacist and get it. So back here we have, behind you is the feminine hygienic products that were wrapped up.
And they would wrap them up and kind of scoot out the store because it was considered sort of
Private.
hush-hush. Private,
Yes.
private, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, why do you do this? Why do you take such good care of this stuff?
It brings back memories to me at my age. I have had in my family a grandfather and a great-grandfather who were pharmacists, and I feel that I'm being able to show to the public what we grew up with.
You're more than just taking care of this. You're more than just an excellent soda jerk. You are a curator of American history. Honestly, I don't know what I like better, the place here or you, sir. You have been a joy to hang out with.
Well, I have a lot of fun with it, and I hope that I pass this history on to everybody. So
I hope you do
thank
too. Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Revlon founder Charles Revson once said, "In the factories, we make cosmetics. In the drugstores, we sell hope." You can still see some of that in the McGill Drugstore today. Through its everyday products and confections on the shelves, one recognizes the memories of America's boom years and the heart of our national heritage.
Well, browsing here, I finally found something I really need. Nourishine, gray hair coloring for external use only. Unfortunately, like everything else here, it's not for sale. I hope someday that you come here, you sign the guest book, say hello to Dan, and take a look for yourself. Welcome to beautiful Carson Valley, Nevada. And this is the Dangberg Home Ranch Historic Park. This is the family that is credited with founding the town of Minden. You know, one of the best parts of my job is when I get to meet interesting people and sort of go back in time. Today, I'm gonna do both, and you're coming with me.
Nevada became a state in 1864, but the house we're about to see was built 7 years before that. It's filled with one-of-a-kind artifacts from the family that called this place home for over a century, the Dangbergs.
This is Mark Jensen. He is the curator of this fine facility. Mark, nice seeing you, sir.
Hi.
Hey, tell me about the Dangbergs and this fine place, how it came to be.
Well, the Dangberg Home Ranch was the home of 4 generations of the Dangberg family. They lived here between 1857 and 1995, and the Dangbergs historically were the leading ranch family in this valley during this time. The property started as a homestead. At its height, it was 48,000 acres, and the last family members living here left this property to the government so that everyone could come learn about this history.
Dangberg Home Ranch Historic Park opened its doors to the public in 2007. Mark oversees the park's interpretive programs, and he's also the chaperone of the extensive artifacts collection.
Mark, this is amazing. Now, everything that's in here, is it original?
Yes, our collection is nearly 40,000 items dating back all the way to 1809. And they were all used here on the Dangberg Home Ranch and owned by the family.
An amazing experience. And is this the family here?
That's photos of the ranch founder, Heinrich Friedrich Dangberg, who settled here in 1857. And next to him is his wife, Margaret Ferris Dangberg. They married in 1865, and you might recognize the Ferris name. It was Maggie's youngest brother, George Washington Gale Ferris Jr., who invented the Ferris wheel.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
That is awesome.
Yeah, we do have a few souvenirs from the 1893 Chicago World's Fair where the Ferris wheel debuted because the Dangbergs had the money to go enjoy the fair. Their daughter, Eva, earned the record of riding the Ferris wheel more than anyone else, 64 times.
You know, everything in here is original. I feel like I'm in somebody's home and they've gone out to lunch.
There's a little bit of that here. We try to keep the house as if, there is a family still living here. We take some liberties with that, but you're not the first to make that kind of remark.
This house was a home for so long, it doesn't feel like a museum. The 4,000 square foot mansion spreads over 15 rooms, including 3 bedrooms, a sleeping porch, and 2 large attics. Each room is filled with stories, and as with any family history, some of them are tragic.
The story of the little boy is the most heart-wrenching. Little Dwight was born in 1899, but in 1904, at the age of 5, he passed away of scarlet fever. And so, of course, his parents are grief-stricken, and Fred asks one of his younger brothers to pack away the boy's possessions. And when we came here in 2005, we were told to look for the trunk that Uncle George had packed away. And sure enough, in the back corner of one of the attics, we found this trunk. And we keep a few of his items out on display. And we also keep this little outfit here, one pair of Levi's overalls that we found in the trunk. We have a photo of Dwight wearing the Levi's. They date from about 1900, and the Levi's company tells us that as far as they know, these are the oldest Levi's existing in Nevada today.
That's amazing. Now, there is a connection between Levi's and Nevada.
Yes, there is. The idea of the rivets, it was invented by a Reno tailor, and it was Levi Strauss who took the company into the future after that.
The Reno tailor's name was Jacob Davis, and the patent for his rivets was granted in 1873. About 20 years later, Levi Strauss designed the 501-style jeans that would become the world's best-selling item of clothing.
So there's another dining room there. That one is formal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the family's dining room where they use the best china and the finest silver and some beautiful furniture. And then there's a ranch kitchen between that dining room and this dining room that we're in now where the workers were fed. The family called this the men's dining room, but of course back then all the cowboys, all the field workers were men, and they would eat on more basic silverware and dishes in here. And this room also has several exterior entrances so that the workers can come in here, get fed, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and not have to go through the family's private space.
No need to go into the house, stay back here, eat your meals.
Definitely always a separation between the two.
Dangberg Home Ranch has 4 generations worth of history within its walls. Just like the past, the sheer beauty of the land remains intact.
Wow, this is not a bad view for your backyard, is it?
Yeah, it's great to have the Carson Range looking out my window. It's a good place to work.
Thank you for the tour, and thank you for keeping history alive. People like you, you're really important. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Red Rock Canyon, one of the most beautiful spots in one of the most beautiful states in the country. And today, we're gonna see it in one of the best ways possible. From the back of a horse. Hey, this is a can't-lose deal. They even give you a cowboy dinner at sunset. Let's go talk to Big Jim. He owns the place.
Only 15 miles west of Las Vegas, Red Rock Canyon is one of the easiest outdoor destinations to reach in Nevada. In fact, over 2 million people visit it every year.
Big Jim.
Hey, John, how are you?
I'm good, my brother. How you doing?
Glad to meet you.
Now, I'm guessing you've been out here a while. How long you been out here?
Well, my folks came here in '32, and I was born in 1947.
And how many horses you got out here?
Well, we're running about 50 head for the guest.
Big Jim doesn't just have horses. He also takes care of one of the best-loved wild burros in the West, Jackson.
Jackson's quite popular. He has over 1,500 followers on his Facebook page, and quite a expressive little burro.
If you'd like to follow Jackson the Red Rock Canyon Burro, you can find him on Facebook at Jackson the Burro. As for me, I'm ready to go offline and get on a horse.
Who's taking me on a ride today?
Well, we're gonna have Mikey, my grandson. He's been out here since he was 12. Kind of ramrods the place now. And we'll get you up on a horse or a mule and get you out.
Man, I can't wait.
Guests can choose from 6 different rides. I'm going on the Sunset Barbecue Dinner Ride. And while I won't need any help with the dinner, I could use a guide on the trail.
Hey, Mikey.
Hey,
How are you, man?
Nice to see you.
Nice seeing you. You look great, man.
Thanks.
Okay, so tell me about the horse here.
Well, this is Casanova. You're going to be riding him today. He's from northern Nevada, come out of our prison program.
Tell me more about that program.
Well, it's a program where they take inmates. They have to take this wild horse and turn him around, make him a sweet horse.
Somebody's done a good job, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, old Casanova here. He's pretty nice.
How old is Casanova?
He's about 6 years old now.
Inmates at the Northern Nevada Correctional Center in Carson City train around 70 wild horses and burros each year, then sell them at auctions.
All right, John, let's hit the trail here.
All right, let's do it, buddy.
Even with Casanova's 1-horsepower engine, there's no better way to experience the canyon.
It's one thing to see Red Rock from a car, but to get out and be on a horse and go through it, it's just a different experience, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't get much more four-wheel drive than this.
The walls of Red Rock Canyon rise to about 3,000 feet. The color results from oxidation of the iron minerals in the sedimentary stone. 600 million years ago, this area was all underwater.
Well, John, what do you think about this view here?
I gotta tell you, Mikey, it's so incredibly beautiful. It almost feels like it isn't real. I feel like I'm in a dream.
Yeah, sometimes I think I'm in a picture frame.
Now, how long is this trail?
This trail's about 2 hours here.
2 hours of bliss. That's almost too fast for me.
There are 197,349 acres in the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area. Big enough to make us feel like we're the only ones out here.
If you stop and take a deep breath, you can smell that barbecue down at the bottom waiting for us.
Yeah, is that what we got?
Yeah. Big old steak.
There's only one thing that would get me off this ridge. That'd be a big old steak.
Well, we better go find it.
Let's do it. Hey, by the way, thank you for this.
No problem.
Man.
Let's head on down this mountain and see if we can't go find us some supper.
Let's go rustle up some grub there, cowboys.
While my John Wayne impression might not be the best in the world, after 4 miles in the saddle, you work up a mighty big appetite, Pilgrim.
It's one thing to come out here and feel the fresh air, but to smell these steaks takes this experience to a whole new level.
It's not just great riding and great food, it's great people, too. They got a campfire going, camp songs and camp stories. It's a slice of the Wild West that you can only get right here.
Support for Outdoor Nevada comes from Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas and Jaguar Land Rover Reno, inspiring the spirit of adventure with confidence in any terrain or conditions. Information at jlrlv.com or jlrreno.com.